Hello friends, it's Cindy Brumbaugh from CindyLeeBDesigns.com, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I got this fun card from one of my friends and teammates, Marty Frank, and it had this fun little pinwheel type card that opens up. Is that adorable or what? And of course, it's one of those cards that looks so intricate, but really once you know how to make this, it's really cute. I loved how she used the Irresistible Blooms. Yeah, Irresistible Blooms paper. Oh, hello, Irresistible. It coordinates with the Irresistible Blooms bundle we have right now. But this paper is actually on our 15% off sale till the end of June. So you might want to pick that up. Really pretty. So I just love the way she just added the little splotches there. Such a pretty card. So I decided I wanted to make one of those. And look at that. I made one of those out of the gingham paper. Now, essentially, it's really super simple. You take a 6x6 and you just score in 1.5 on each side. Now, I started out with this gingham because I wanted to make a graduation card for my nephew, Isaac, such a great kid. Graduated from high school, and I wanted to use this, and I wanted to use the Level Complete. Now, of course, when this one came out, I thought it was awesome because if you just think of my children's childhood and also their adulthood is still revolving around video games. I actually sent a picture to my daughter and my son asking, what color is this supposed to be? And they're like, well, that's kind of I think a couple different pieces from different ones, but I ended up using this and I thought it was great because it had the congratulations for graduation and then achievement unlocked. And then I'm going to use this inside. When it feels like game over, always choose to play again. A great sentiment to use for the future endeavors of a college, a high school or a college graduate. So I'm going to be using that set. And then I thought it would be really pretty to use this bright and beautiful DSP, also something that's on the 15% off sale until the end of June, but such beautiful bright colors. And I liked that I could use the fronts and backs, that they coordinated nicely. So we are going to just do that. So, but I wanted to make mine a little bit different to make it a little my own. And this is what I ended up doing. So once you fold this, it is 3 inches. So if you put a border around it, it would be 3¼ inch square. And so I decided if I wanted to put this onto the card, that I would need a piece of 3¼ to go on there. Well, this is actually the inside. So anyhow, so what I did is I kind of worked backwards. This is 3. I wanted 3¼ so then I wanted 4¼ here. So what I did is I just took my cardstock, and this was an 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4¼ and then I just came in 1 inch on each side on that score line and I cut it. So what I essentially did, where my trimmer is precariously, but it needs to be used here, precariously down at the bottom of a pile of 3 different things. So essentially what I did is I just took my card. Now this would have been in here, so this is the piece I cut out. So I just took it to 1 inch. Well, actually, what did I do? I took it to, 1 inch here. Here's 1 inch. I took it to 1 inch. I came down to the 4¼ on my guide, and I just went up. And then I went to over 1 inch on this side, went down to 4¼ as well, and cut up. Now you could have cut up down from here or here, but whichever side, you just make sure you don't cut this one off and this one off. But that makes kind of a fun fold here. So there we go. So so that was my card base. And then that meant I was going to put in 2. Now this one, I had the matching. Okay, there we go. And that just was using 2 3/4 inch wide by 4 inch pieces of DSP, which I conveniently had left over from a different project. So it was great to be able to use that. So I'm going to just put that so that I have the little 1/8 inch border on both sides. And remember, that's going on the inside of your card. this was a great way to use that pinwheel as my focal point on my card. And then I just use that glue, get a little wiggle room there, and then see that there we go. So we have the stripes there. Now we're gonna work on that pinwheel. But we do know that this is gonna be the piece that I'm putting here, okay? So this is a 3¼ inch square. But let's make the pinwheel. Okay, I picked out a coordinating paper that's in the Bright and Beautiful, and what we're gonna do is score it. So why don't we just go ahead and use our trimmer to do that. And you can go to 1½ dark cutting blade, light scoring blade. So 1½ 1½ 1½, and one more turn. And don't mess it up now, Cindy. 1½. Okay, so you can see more of the score on this side. So now what we want to do is cut out the 4 corners. So I'm going to use my paper snips. And when you put this together, it's not exactly perfect. That's because we are not perfect. So I'm going to cut, you can see this little mountain here on this side. I'm going to try to cut right in the middle of the mountain, right to the corner. And then I can see the mountain here. You know what, my mountain is not as, I'm actually going to need to score that a little better here. I don't feel the score line. I might have not pressed hard enough. You know, whenever you're when you're scoring with DSP, and then you're just like, you don't want to cut it, you don't want to go through the paper, so that will help me out. Much better. Okay, now wait, it's this one. It just did not, I must not be pressing a certain place. Okay, there we go. That's why I might have used my, there. Okay, now you can see it better. And then we're gonna cut on that mountain. I'm trying to use the light to catch those mountains. Definitely easier to see on this side of the paper that's solid than the other side. And sometimes you can kind of bend it so you can see that. But like I said, I tried a couple of these and I was just, why am I off a little bit? And then I just wondered, because you're not a machine, as much as I feel like a machine sometimes. This is the first time I've made a card since my surgery. And oh, I'm not the whole way up, I can tell. And I realized that stamping is not the lightweight. It's not for lightweights. I mean, stamping actually takes a little exertion. I had to run a couple dies for a project and I was like, oh my gosh, that was a workout. But it feels good to be back in the craft room doing something. Thank you so much for all your well wishes and your texts and your emails and your cards. Oh, just lifted my spirits so much. So here we go. We have that piece with the corners out. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold. Now this is where you decide, which color you want to be showing on the outside. Now, I wonder, do I want more of the, and these are all, now see, if you close these, you can tell they're gonna fold, but right here I'm getting a little resistance, so I might just trim off a tiny bit right down here at the bottom. Just so I can feel, like I said, because we're not a machine, we can't really tell. That's going to be our pinwheel. Okay, so I'm sitting here wondering, do I want to see this on the inside or that on the inside? So which do you end up? So when you open this up, the one that you see on the inside is the flaps. So I think I want to do it this way, okay? So what you do is simply fold this up and then you fold up one side and then take the right corner and you're going to bring it down to here. Okay, so right corner. There we go, our first pinwheel. Then we go to this one, do the same thing, right corner down. This one has a little bumpy there. I'm going to flatten that out a little bit and make that flush with the bottom. There we go. With DSP, it's very easy to just not have to use your bone folder, but always have that bone folder right there. Put it up again, fold it over. Think of all the fun little cards you could make using this technique. Okay, and then we go to the last one, and the right corner goes down. There we go. Now we're going to close it up. Now think of it this way. Here, you want them to alternate. See how they're alternating? Now when you get down to this one, you want this one here, and you don't want to see this here, so you're popping it in here, like this. So there is your pinwheel. Now let's see, how does that look? I like that. Okay, so we need something fun on the inside. Now this was 3-inch square, so what I did is I cut myself a 2 3/4 inch square. All the measurements and products I use and colors and papers and all that kind of stuff is on my blog, cindyleeBdesigns.com. Just press the link after visit my blog here and you'll be sent right over there for additional photos. And don't forget that I'm having an online lucky hand on July 24th. And that is a fun quick style bingo where you get mailed the kits we're going to make during the Zoom. And then you get to play a hand that I give you. And it's real fun and quick paced, and you're going to want to sign up for that. It's going to be fun. So when you're over on my blog, just check that out. So here we go. This is our focal point that's going to be inside our pinwheel. So what I decided to do is I just used this vintage Nintendo. Now, like I said, I sent the picture to my kids and they said, well, I would probably do this color, this color. Well, I said, in the stamping world, we go by what colors are in our DSP. So I came up with this one and I did emboss this. Oh my gosh, I cannot excuse me, remember the last time I embossed, and I was so excited how beautiful that black turned out, and it really made coloring with my blends a lot easier with that raised embossing on there. And what I did to do that, a trick when you're embossing and you want to black emboss, is stamp it using one of your stamp positioning tools, a Stamparatus or something, and you stamp it in black, and then you stamp Versamark on top of it. Then use clear embossing powder. That way you don't get black flecks anywhere. So I remembered somebody had given me that tip years ago. So just a really great tip if you want to do that. And if you wanted to emboss with red or blue or purple and you didn't have that color embossing powder, just stamp that yellow or pink, then stamp on top of that image, the same place, with Versamark, then add your clear embossing, and then you have been able to stamp in every color that you have. So I just kind of played around with this. I knew the Nintendo had light gray, and then I just darkened it, and then I just pulled all the colors out of the DSP. So that is going to go on the inside of our pinwheel. But before we do that, we're going to have to put a sentiment in there. And so I'm going to put achievement unlocked, kind of like graduation happened and you achieved it. So I'm going to use Blueberry Bushel, that awesome returned color, and I'm going to put that right at the top of our controller. There we go. And then that's going to go on the inside here. So what I think I'm going to do is put a little glue on the inside here, knowing I'm going to have a little bit of a border because I don't want to touch that blueberry ink right now. And I'm going to put that right in there, having the same amount of border the whole way around. So that's our inside. Now remember, you just bring this down and put your other pinwheel. That means you're going to tuck this one under. Okay, so there is our pinwheel, and we'll just burnish it now to keep it down. We're going to put that on the back of our 3 1/4 inch square. Oh, this would have been fun to put like a berry. Ooh, I wonder what that would look like. Let's see. I'm gonna grab some berry burst and let's take a look and see what that would look like. Just to add another touch of color there. So let me just cut I hadn't even thought about that till I put it down. So 3 1/4. I'm not sure. I think white might still be the best. But let's see. I guess I was trying to keep it a little on the, let's look and see. Actually, I think I do like the berry burst. I think that berry burst is kind of nice. Once I put this down, I noticed the white kind of got a little lost there. So let's put, oh yeah, that berry burst pops all that DSP off there. So we just have get that little guy out of the way. Now we're gonna put this here, and you'll see once I put this on, when I put the other sentiment, that's really gonna pop. So here we go. We're just gonna get the same amount, that 1/8 inch border around the top and the 2 sides of that middle portion that we cut. Okay, and it lines right up there with the DSP, but we need a cool sentiment down there. Well, look at that. Congratulations. And it fit in our stylish shapes, or stylish shapes dies, that big pennant. I was so excited. So I'm wondering, do we want to pop that up? Yes, let's pop it up. Why not? When you have the chance to pop, I hope you pop. Yes, that's what we'll say. Now I'm going to have that song in my head all day. I hope you dance when you have the chance. I hope you dance. Okay. What was that? The wind beneath my wings. Ha. Okay. So let's put that congratulations right there on the blue, on that blueberry bushel. And see, I think I like having that berry burst there because it gives it a pop. Now we want to go on the inside. And as I said before, I think that sentiment in here, when it says game over, always choose to play again, I think that is a perfect encouraging thing, you know? Don't give up, you know, try different things. So let's put that in the middle of the card. Let's make sure I'm putting it on the right. There we go. I love it. So I'm going to turn this over, hoping that I don't smear that, because you know how blue is, those colors. Put a little glue here, a little glue here. So we have nice flat surface to write on. And then I'm just going to line that up pretty much right inside, because it's smaller than this here, which is 3 1/2. So you're going to have, there we go. And I chose to use this color because I think the blueberry bushel really pulls it out with the cardstock. And then so whenever my awesome nephew Isaac gets this, he's going to go, what? Oh my gosh, he's going to say, what? Aunt Cindy put this on the wrong way. Okay, kids, do you think I can get this off of here without ruining this? Oh wait, which is the better way? Leave that on and maybe try to pull this up. Oh gosh. darn. Gosh darn, and I used glue. What about me? Okay, so yeah, pay attention when you put that pinwheel on, which way it goes. But I think I can get this off of here, but let's pretend I put it on the right way. Okay, I'm gonna blame this on, I'm still recovering from my surgery, but it goes in. The pictures on my blog will actually have it turned around the right way. And I can guarantee I'm gonna get this off of here because I'm not going to color that again. But isn't that a fun card? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't pay attention to that. Okay, well, my mistake is your gain, because then that gives you a heads up to make sure when you're putting it on that it's on the right way. But I think that's a fun card that uses that as a focal point, and you can use this level complete for all your gamers in your life. Thanks for buzzing by, friends.